Your comics and manga are suffering because you are not diversifying the panel composition in your story. So in this video, I'm going to give you 12 different camera angles and what they technically portray or represent to try to help zuzz up your product. At the end of the day, I do this stuff because I care and I want everyone to be able to succeed. These are things that I wish I knew when I had started. First up is the eye level perspective. Now, to be honest, most of you are probably already doing this one because it's the easiest one. This is the one that I see the most when it comes to a lot of intermediate creators because it's fast, there's much less chance of messing something up, but it's also a very personal image because it almost kind of feels like the way that you're looking at someone else. It's called an eye level perspective for a reason. The next one is one of my favorites. It's the low level perspective. Now, this one is a bit more difficult because it tends to involve perspective, right? And every beginner artist hates perspective. It's always perspective and anatomy, and both of these are going to come into play with this shot. But this shot usually portrays strength. It makes someone look much larger than they are, much more powerful, and it almost kind of takes the power away from the individual that is reading and gives it to the person within the shot. Now, the next one is a high angle shot. I also very much like this one, and perspective is going to come into this as well because of the foreshortening, but it is very aesthetically pleasing, and it can either show more of a veracity in the face or more of a perspective on their emotional state at that time, but it can also make someone feel small or weak depending on how far away the camera is from this very same perspective. So based off of how close or far away this image is, that can also change the meaning behind a high to low perspective. Next one is the bird eye view. Now, this one usually kind of pertains to showing where a character is and the items within a room from a very, very high level perspective. This also can kind of reveal certain things that you wouldn't be able to see from any of the other perspectives. So you can take advantage of that to kind of mess with some very interesting things. It also, in my opinion, very good for showing a character in a much larger group of people, right? So if you're trying to kind of show a character blending into a crowd, a bird's eye view is a very cool way to do that. Next up is the worm's eye view. Now, this one I don't see very often, but when it's done, it's always fantastic. So this one is more of a dramatized version of a low to high kind of view, right? It's the low angle shot, but put to its absolute extreme. It creates like an exaggerated sense of height. Next is the Dutch angle. The Dutch angle is my absolute favorite. I use it all the time. I love it. There's just something about taking an image and then just but the Dutch angle tends to give a sense of tension and unease. It can be used as something very creepy, or it can also be used to kind of show more of a scene without turning it fully into a wide shot. The next one would be the over-the-shoulder view. Now, the over-the-shoulder view can be used so that we have a very personal view of something that is happening to a character. We're essentially along for the ride with them. And that leads me to the POV. Now, a POV is something that is, again, I don't see a whole lot of, but it can really set the stage for some fantastic scenes. This is directly from the eyes of the individual that we are taking the perspective from. This is as personal as it gets. Next, we have the close-up. So this is essentially going to be for your talking points. This is going to be trying to show the emotion, really show off the emotion of the character within whatever situation they're in. And then beyond that is the extreme close-up, which is very much so focused on the eyes. We see this a lot in anime and manga, for sure. This is something where we really want to focus on the emotion solely in the eyes, which is a skill in and of itself. There are a lot of amazing artists that can show emotion directly through eyes. Tite Kubo is one in particular that I've always appreciated. Just the visuals of his eyes on a character can tell you exactly what that specific character is thinking. Next is a medium shot, which usually tends to be like a splash page with a comic or a manga. This is essentially just showing the visuals that a eye level panel would show, but we also now get a lot more of the body language along with that. And then finally is the wide shot. Now, a wide shot is really good for showing scale. That's something I also love to do a lot, showing scale. It also can show a lot of the environment that the character is in at the time. So that's something like an establishing shot, which is in and of itself another thing. I know I said 12, but the 13th would be an establishing shot, which is usually fantastic. I would absolutely consider starting off. Anytime you are changing to a new location, start off with an establishing shot, because now we know where the characters are. We have a good idea, because then when we start moving around and the characters start having things happening, or they're moving from room to room, place to place, building to building, what have you, we understand this is a new place, and we have a good, like a solid enough map of where they are. So these are 12, 13 panel shots that you can use to zuzz up your stuff, to really start kind of pushing into the visual narrative that you have chosen to tell your story. If you liked this video, make sure, like I said, you like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Any other questions that you have, if you have other things that you want me to talk about in depth, I absolutely will. And also check out my 2 series. I have 2 of them that have been out for a while, Splicer and Ascension Bravo, where I use all of these things that I talked about in these stories. So I practice what I preach. Hell yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.